Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at my windswept style portulacaria afra, or dwarf jade as some people call them. I think this is the first time I've shown this on my channel, so hope you like it. So like I said, it's a windswept style. Got it, kind of coming this way, like the wind's coming from the right side and blowing it to the left. It's just a little bit out of shape. We got some new growth over here that are getting a little long, so we want to trim some of those back. And anything that's growing opposite of the way I want the windswept look, I'll take care of that. Maybe some of this up here. So let's go ahead and get started. So we've got these over here. This used to be a branch coming off this way. This used to be a more of an upright tree, and it had another large branch coming out over here about the same size as this one. It was coming off this way, but what I did, I got rid of that, bent the top leader over with some wire, and slanted the trunk a little bit in the pot, just so it has that illusion of the wind being really forceful and pushing it over to the left. So where I made that cut, as you can see, it's wanting to sprout another branch, but I'm keeping that trim back. I'm keeping some growth on there just to help heal that wound over. It is healing over well. Here's a spot here I'd like to show you. Here's where I made a branch cut, and I've made some of these on previous videos, and I don't flush cut them to the trunk. I leave a little bit, and when it dries, then you can knock that dry part off, and then it's pretty flush. So this one here had been cut a while back, probably a couple months ago, but it's dry now, so you can see that dry part just comes right off, and it's really hard and dry. And then some of this bark will you can just pick that off, flake that off, but then it's really flush up against the tree. So that's how you prune branches off of these portulacarias. You don't want to flush cut it, because once that dries, then you could end up with a cavity in there. So I always leave about that much of the limb that I cut off to allow for that drying. So this doesn't really contribute anything, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Just trim some of these back for now, and we may go ahead and clean that trunk up some, but here's a branch coming out of the back. Get rid of some leaves sprouting off of this trunk. Okay, so let's just start in here. My first pass, I will just trim some of these shoots back to see what I'm left with. Like I said, I want to maintain that movement from right to left. So anything that's going back towards the trunk, I want to try to get rid of. So this one here was coming straight out. I may go ahead and get rid of that whole clump, but like I said, we'll see how this shapes up. And I'm always, spinning it a little bit just to take a look at it from the front to see what the profile looks like. We'll get rid of these up here. That's not really adding anything to the design. I don't want a new branch coming out there. This one's sticking straight up. Take some of these shoots back. The more you trim these, the tighter the leaves are, so it just increases the ramification. See if we've got this branch coming back to the right, so it's kind of killing the illusion, so we'll get rid of that. Just trimming up any leaves that are pointing back this way. And here, let me take some of these leaves off so you can see what's going on under here. So we've got this branch right in here that's coming out at an angle. It's straight up, kind of going back towards the right. I mean, it's nice because it's kind of given that little crown look, but if it was more of an upright tree, I would probably leave that. But since this is a windswept, I want everything to continue to move this way. It just seems unnatural to have that branch coming out and back to the right. So I think we'll go ahead and get rid of that. And like I mentioned before, you want to leave 1/8 to 1/4 inch of trunk left on some of these thicker trunks, and that way that'll die off and then it'll be flush. Yeah, I think that helps. And that way we've got that nice movement. Move around here to the back. Trim these up. Anything growing straight down, get rid of that. And what I like to do is continue to look at it to see if I can see air gaps through here, because that really adds some depth and interest. So I'll try to reduce some of these pads. And it'll do two things. It'll help increase the ramification, be thicker pads, and also allows you to see the airspace through there. Here's some branches in here that are going back towards the trunk, which I don't want. Let's go back and look at it from the front. It's getting there. Got a vertical shoot here, get rid of. And here's some growth here we don't really need. I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of this clump here because it's too close. I want to be able to see that. But it does help disguise. What's not ideal is this trunk here is pretty straight. It's, you know, flat. And that clump there kind of disguises that, so it's not as visible. So I think for now we'll leave that. I'm seeing this space in here. We've got these two areas that are pretty close to each other, so I'll trim this one back a little bit. I want to keep some green visible back there because it just helps, you know, give it the tree some depth where you can look through the branches and see greenery on the backside. a branch that's coming straight out and back, which I don't think we need. Get rid of that. What I'm looking at here with this area here is still a little jumbled up. I'd like to be able to see through that more, so I'm gonna clean that out. Take some of these branches back, see if I can improve that a little bit. And open that up a little bit in through there. Some of these branches that are way back close to the interior, we'll get rid of those. Here's one that's growing down, get rid of that. And earlier when I made my initial styling and pruning on this tree, this whole back area was bare. Like I said, the other branch came off this way, and there was another big clump over here. But this whole back was bare. So what happened, and this has only been 3-4 months maybe, is where all these other ones sprouted out, another one sprouted out here, and I just let it grow. And this whole new back branch has developed just in the past, like I said, 2 or 3 months. So these do grow pretty fast. And once you learn, how to prune them and how they react, you can almost designate where you want a new branch to develop. And once this gets out a little bit more, I will trim that back. Probably keep the length about there, just so it doesn't grow into this piece over here. But I want that branch to get a little bit thicker, so I'm going to leave the length on that to allow that to thicken up. Just trimming up some of these over here a little bit shorter. Like I said, it's always just constant trimming and maintenance to maintain the density on these pads. And this tree is still pretty much, I mean, we've got some pads starting, but they've got a lot to grow into. But it's, as far as the overall shape, I'm pretty happy with the way it's looking so far. Something new. I've not had a windswept style portulacaria, but thought I would try it, and so far not too bad. This is growing straight up, so I don't thin that out a little bit. Like I said, I'm leaving, ideally, I would like to expose more of this branch back here by removing some of this greenery, but I want this to thicken up some, so I'm going to leave that for now. So in the future, as you're looking at this branch, up until about here, it will be just branch, and then I'll have a pad develop out here. Like I said, I'm going to leave the green on there for now to allow that branch to thicken up a little faster. But I like the way this is looking. Just remove some of these downward facing leaves just to refine the pads a little bit. But overall, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think for today, I think we'll leave it there, and we'll give you a quick spin around so you can see all of it. There's the front. There's the left side. There's the back. Right side. And back to the front. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.